because I figured something out. So on YouTube, I can actually save my live and I can upload it as public so you all can see it even after the fact. It just shows up in our videos. So I think that's fantastic. So even though if I do or don't have people, although it didn't show me that anybody was jumped on before and yet 45 people or something were. So I'm gonna start over. I'm going to explain what peptides are. I'm going to explain the process at Whole for Life. I'm not going to go into all of the adjunctive or complementary therapies because you can watch the video that's going to upload in just a few minutes and you can see that information. So if you haven't watched that, watch that first, then come back and watch this one. So peptides, I did go over this in the other one. I will go over it again. I'm going to read because if I do not read the peptides that we offer, then I'm probably going to miss some of them or forget some of them. Forgive my scar here. I've named her Ethel. This is my This is my Pioneer, my flagship shingles scar from 2010. And Ethel gets mad sometimes. I had some body work done today. I went to a doctor of osteopath, and so she's not happy right now. It's okay. But that is the bullseye that you see in this video for sure. So I just thought I would mention it, save everybody else the wonder. What are peptides? So peptides are very, very simply put, short chains of amino acids. That's it. The most common peptide most people know about is insulin, but other things that are peptides, serotonin, dopamine, oxytocin, collagen is a peptide. And there's many, many more. So they're building blocks of proteins, and they play a crucial role in our body functions. Anything from influencing our hormones and our hormone production to neurotransmitters, brain function, nervous system function, growth factors, types of signaling molecules that regulate responses in the body, which is a fancy way of saying our immune system, and a whole lot of other physiological things peptides are responsible for. We have to have peptides to survive and thrive, but the body doesn't often produce enough of those. In fact, in our society, most everyone doesn't produce enough of those. Modern medicine is catching on, hence some of the prescriptions that use some peptides. Insulin's been a prescription for years, and insulin is a single acting peptide. Now there's a bunch of different kinds, and they've added some things and all that, but at the core or the base of it, insulin is a peptide. But I think mainstream medicine is catching on to the fact that if we use certain peptides in the body, we can do things like, and again, I'm not making medical claims here. I am not intending to diagnose, treat, or cure you. I'm not making recommendations for you. You need to consult your physician. I am not your physician. These are my opinions about peptides. So you always need to consult your physician before you start any new therapy or anything of that nature. But different peptides affect different cells in the body, and so they can do different things. They can cause the body to function differently and better. And if you get with somebody who knows what they're doing, they can target some of those therapies for you. The company that I've partnered with, they have doctors. They are an amazing company, and I'm just real excited to be able to offer the pure peptide. So you're getting, if you choose to go that route with us, first of all, you have to have a peptide consultation. That is not negotiable. Even my best friends in the world, they're getting peptide consultations because we want to do you the right service. We don't want to do you a disservice by just throwing a dart at a dartboard. You absolutely want to make sure that this is the right therapy for you. And make the best decision you can make. And so we want to make sure that we, on our end, are doing our due diligence and our part of that. So, so that I think is very important for you to know right out of the gate. The cost of peptides, that's another question that we get. That is extremely variable. I will tell you, the only reason, and I do mean the only reason, that I am participating and have added yet one more thing to my list, my staff's list, one more proverbial target on my back, one more headache when it comes to paperwork and compliance and all of that. The only reason I did that is because I think everybody should have access at the most affordable rate possible to achieving freedom in their health. And I will always and forever have a soft spot in my heart for obesity and for people that have some weight to lose, because since the age of 4 until I got healthy, and even then, you know, when I was really working with well, working too much basically, and my autoimmune things started to flare and some other things started to happen, you know, I started to develop inflammation and stuff again, and so I had some inflammatory weight gain. But at the age of 4, I started struggling with my weight, and it certainly wasn't what I was eating or how active or inactive I was, because nobody else in my family had that problem. So and then my oldest son, he had struggles with that as well. He's the reason, a big part of why I do what I do today. I'm happy to report that he has almost no body fat. He is a lieutenant in the Army, goes to the gym every day, PT every day. I mean, he is the picture of health now. But he did struggle with weight at a very young age, just like me. So that's going to always have a soft spot in my heart. The other thing, that the other group of people that are going to have a soft spot, and I'm not suggesting that we only deal with these 2 or 3 types of people. I'm just saying people that have autoimmune issues, people that your immune system literally has just decided to fight against you instead of for you, and people that have atypical rapid cell growth. I'm pretty sure, even though this is YouTube, I will get censored if I say the C word. And now we have 2 C words. One of them started in 2019. That's not the one I'm talking about right now, although there is a peptide that helps with that. I'm talking about the one that's been around for a very long time, where you grow a bunch of atypical cells that your body shouldn't grow. So those people just have a special space in my heart. And so knowing that there's something out there that has already been clinically tested and trialed and proven to help those conditions or those issues, they're just, to be able to bring them in an affordable way, or at least more affordable. And part of that too, you know, even if you look at these and say, gosh, on the front end, that seems kind of expensive, you have to remember, we microdose. We don't macrodose. So typically our people don't need massive quantities. So one vial of something might, my son just spoofed my video back there. One vial of these might last you a long time. So keep that in mind too. It's not that you're going to be paying this amount of money every month. But having said that, the peptides, depending on what they are, they vary from 60, 70 bucks all the way to the more expensive ones that are a couple $100s. So just keep that in mind. You can also stack peptides if we find that that's a good option for you. You can stack them for a period of time. Some of the peptides you'll notice are something that you would use every 3rd day. So every 3 days you'll use it. Some of them you use for 4 to 6 weeks, and then you stay off of them for at least 8 weeks or so. We call that cycling. And some of them you may use one time and never have to use again or need to use again. So there is no set answer for that. And there's so much bad information out there about that, but there's no set answer about that. The other thing is with the GLP things that we'll talk about, it's just not my opinion that you should have to stay on that forever. If you do, it should be like a fraction of a dose. And again, watch the previous video, because I want you to learn ways to proliferate those good bacteria in your gut so that you don't have the deficiencies and the deficits that's causing you to need a peptide replacement. So having said that, I'm not going to talk about all the peptides today. I'm just going to hit on some. If you contact our office, we will give you, I created a quick reference guide. I put it in our newsletter. Part of it, it's not an exhaustive list, but I do have an exhaustive list at the office. But I put a quick reference guide in our newsletter, and then a square blast went out as well. I might resend that too, so just to make sure that everybody sees it. But if you want the whole list and just a very brief description of kind of what those things address, which peptide addresses what, then let us know. Either you can go to our website and contact us that way by submitting a form. You can, which is wholeforlifewithjill.com. You can call us at 864-614-5970. That is a landline only. You can text us at 864-280-6201, text only. Or you can come in the office. You can email us, wholeforlifewithjill. Please email our Gmail account, wholeforlifewithjill@gmail.com. that's another way that you can contact us. But just say, hey, I want the quick reference guide, and then I want to make a consult appointment. We're happy to do that for you. So some of the ones I want to talk about today, I'm going to start where everybody wants to start, weight loss. AOD 9604. AOD 9604, the uses, and I'm just going to read this. This is not my words. This is not my opinion. I'm going to read this. This is based on clinical studies and data, and the reason I'm reading it is because I want to make sure that I don't get it wrong, and I don't add to or take away from. The uses are for weight loss, obesity management. It does mimic the way natural growth hormone regulates fat metabolism. I'm going to stop right there and say there are certain conditions that you should never take anything that elicits a growth hormone response in your body. That's one reason you want to work with somebody that knows what they're doing. But that doesn't mean you can't use peptide therapy. It just means you can't use the ones with human growth hormone response. So this promotes significant body fat loss. It does not negatively impact blood sugar levels or tissue growth. Specifically targeting areas of fat cells, and stimulates lipolysis. And if you don't know what that is, you should look it up. I do that in a lot of our videos because I want you to educate yourself without just listening to me. Do your own studies and your own research. But, you know, we want to obliterate fat, especially visceral fat, fat around our organs. You want to get rid of that. We need a little, but we certainly don't need as much as most Americans have. So that's AOD 9604. In a perfect world, I think if you were a candidate for it, you'd want to stack that with a GLP if you needed a GLP. So the GLPs that will be offered at or through Whole for Life, not at Whole for Life, they're going to be, I'm going to go in the order of the one I will use the least, I think, first, and then the one I'll use second least, and then the one I hope to use most. So that would be semaglutide, tirzepatide, and retatrutide. So semaglutide, again, I'm just going to read because I don't want to get in any trouble. Weight loss, type 2 diabetes, enhances insulin secretion, suppresses appetite, significantly reduces body weight, improves glycemic control, and potentially improves kidney function. There have been several studies on that. Now they're coming out with more studies, but they haven't been done just on... You know what's funny to me? All these people, I see them on other social platforms. I hear doctors referencing this too. A ton of these studies that they're referencing are just on the pure peptide. Did y'all know that? Not necessarily this brand name stuff that you're seeing at the doctor's office. But these peptides are a part of that. But the studies were actually done on the pure natural peptide. So that's just a fun fact for you. So that's semaglutide. So if someone came in and had just really bad blood sugar control, or they had a diagnosis or carried a diagnosis of type 2 diabetes, if they had kidney involvement, because a lot of times diabetes, you will have kidney involvement as well. You want to be on my video? I love you too. You want to be on my video? Oh, now you're going to be on my video. He's let the cat out. Okay, say hey. Oh, there comes another one. So anyway, if those conditions or issues, then we would consider that one. I will say most people have more side effects with that one than the others, or so it seems. Tirzepatide would be, again, I'm going to read straight from it, the primary use, whereas the primary use was weight loss and type 2 diabetes and semaglutide. Primary use is obesity and type 2 diabetes, suppresses appetite, significantly reduces body weight, improves control of blood glucose levels, improves cardiovascular health by reducing blood pressure, systolic, and cholesterol levels, benefits liver health, particularly in reducing liver fat. So also this little thing called food noise. Tirzepatide has more studies done on that, seems to be more effective for that. So more weight loss per capita, better control of your cholesterol, things like that. And again, I'm speaking only of the peptides. Please keep that in mind. I'm not speaking of the drugs. I'm speaking of the peptides. Now let's talk about retatrutide, and I'll do probably a separate video and explain what a GLP-3 is. But retatrutide affects 3 different areas, and we won't get into all the science of that. I'm just going to read what it says here. Weight loss, metabolic health, regulates appetite and metabolism. It enhances metabolic health, reduces body weight, improves glycemic control, which is blood sugar, potential in resolving fatty liver disease. And there have been some studies on that that have been pretty conclusive as well. So more, I'm just going to say this is going to be very controversial, and I'm sure I'm going to get flack from it. But overall, more weight loss with retatrutide. So people that have more significant amounts of weight to lose, and they are a good fit for that, that would be a good choice. Not really type 2 diabetes per se, although common things being common, if you lose a significant amount of weight in the right and healthy way without losing muscle mass and all of that, then you're going to probably positively impact that as well. And fatty liver and more significant weight loss without muscle loss, you're looking at retatrutide for that. I don't know, food noise, it's a 50-50 shot. I don't know that people with food noise and binging and things of that nature, I still think they're probably going to do a little better with tirzepatide and AOD, especially if they want to stack it. One more thing I want to talk, actually 2 more peptides I want to talk about. That's really all I want to say about weight loss right now, except to say if it's not me, you need to work with somebody so that you're sure you get the right thing. We have literally 25, I think, peptides, so please understand this is not exhaustive. I'm just giving you the highlights. So, but another one I want to talk about is NAD+, and I'm going to read again so I don't get it wrong. Cellular energy production, listen to me, DNA repair, anti-aging, improved mitochondrial function, cell function, reduced inflammation, increased metabolic efficiency. Well, if you increase metabolic efficiency, that's going to increase your metabolism, not just the cell metabolism. Enhanced muscle recovery, supports circadian rhythms, which means helps you sleep better. Improved cardiovascular health, which means it has the potential to help your heart, help your blood pressure, things of that nature. Longevity, increases your lifespan. Supports immune function, immune system. Detoxes your cells, so gets junk out of the cell. Enhanced stress resistance, so your body handles stress better in both physiological as well as emotional ways. And increased sirtuin activity. So if you don't know, I'm going to give you a second one to look up, sirtuin, S-I-R-T-U-I-N. Look that up and see what that activity is. I wanted to talk about that one too because I'm going to tell you right now, we are a nation of inflamed people. So, and some of those other ones that you can't really do because you might have some certain conditions, this one wouldn't qualify. This one wouldn't be in that category for most people. Of course, you're going to check with your doctor. But that one I wanted to talk about, and one more I want to talk about, if I can find it. Thymosin Alpha 1. Thymosin Alpha 1, again, going to read straight from here, but listen carefully as I read this, okay? So if you're somebody who has struggled long-term with this, if you're somebody who we've done all the conventional, we've done all the natural, and you're still struggling with this, you really need to consider this. Enhances immune function, healthy, proper immune function. A lot of immune boosters, for example, if you have an autoimmune disease, you're going to get the opposite effect. You can't do that. It enhances the healthy immune function, eradicates bacteria, viruses, fungus, boosts the function of immune cells, suppresses the C word and the T word that goes along with the C word, growth, accelerates wound healing process, enhances antibody responses, balances some hormones, balances some responses in the body from the thymus. And for that other thing, that long C word, has been, they're now clinically trialing it and showing great promise with it for that as well. In fact, I would arguably say it's a great choice for that as well. So those are just a few of the peptides. All the peptides right now, with the exception of BPC 157, I've done videos on that one before, and I'll do videos on it again. That one is oral, but right now that's the only one. All the other ones are subcutaneous, so they would be little injections with what we used to call insulin syringes, right into the fatty layer, fatty layer, meaty layer of your leg, your arm, back of your arm, or your abdomen. Most of us have enough fat that we can give ourselves a subcutaneous injection there. Very easy. I'm going to do a video on how to reconstitute them, how how to make them into the injectable form and all of that. So I'll do a video on all of that as well. That'll be posted on all of our social outlets. But peptides are a game changer, and to be able to offer them at a price point that I think people will be able to at least explore peptide therapy, I just can't tell you how happy that makes me. I don't have any questions on here. If you can do comments, at least they're not showing, so I'm assuming you can't comment. So I'm going to post this to our YouTube channel. Please watch it in its entirety. Please watch the one I posted right before this in its entirety, and then reach out to us. Again, you must have a peptide consult. This is not something you're going to just contact the office and say, hey, I want to try it. Even if you are our client, you still have to have a peptide consult. We want to make sure we're doing things right for you. So I hope you guys have a great rest of your evening, and I hope to get lots of questions. I hope that you at least explore all natural peptide therapy. I think it's a game changer in the world of health and wellness. So have a great evening, guys.